Warning, the following audio may contain spoilers and language inappropriate for a younger audience. Listener discretion is advised. You have been warned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anime Abroad Episode 4, the place to be for all of your anime recommendations and shit-talking banter. But just bear in mind, your favourite anime might get a little bit shittier. Joining me this week is Iru.
Hey guys.
And Bleeark.
Hey!
Ego isn't here today because he had to watch High School of the Dead, and so he made us some bullshit about having to learn or something like that, and that's the reason why he's not here. But the only reason he's really not here is because he has to review... Oh, no, what was the show? No, it was...
Boku no Pico.
Boku no Pico, yeah, that's it. He had to review them, and yeah, he skimped out on his responsibilities, so he's not doing it. But I'd also like to give you an update on Ego as well. He would rate Fate Zero 10 out of 10. He would recommend it, and he's going to rewatch it every other month.
We're not even reviewing that, but just bear that in mind that it's true, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, completely 100% true. So, how we doing, lads? We okay?
Yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah,
good.
I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm excited for this week's episode.
You're always excited for a week's episode.
Well, that's because we've been doing some pretty great shows.
We have. At some point, we're going to have to review something that we hate, aren't we?
Probably. I'm waiting for that.
We're probably going to review Boku no Pico at one point.
I'm just waiting for the day when Ego drops that bombshell. He's like, guys, okay, I've got it. Let's review Bakano. And I'll be like, oh no, please don't make me watch that show again.
I don't want to watch that show at all.
I feel bad because I'm the only one that enjoyed that show then.
No, yeah, Ego did as well.
Shit.
Yeah, but he's not here, so it doesn't count.
Well, he doesn't count if he's here anyway.
Oh, well, I didn't say that, so...
Alright then, so, Iru, you haven't done it yet, so why don't you tell the audience what have we been collectively watching this week?
We have been watching, collectively, as a group this week, a little show that is called Deadman Wonderland. It's... Oh, should I go into a review about it, too?
Give us a synopsis, just let us know what the premise of the story is, and then we'll jump in. And when you fuck up.
Fair enough. Alright, so I better be on my best behavior then. Anyways, so, starts off with this young man, Ganta Igarashi, just going through his normal school day life. Nothing out of the ordinary happening. Goes to school, and after he starts off his stay at school, he winds up being falsely charged with the murder of his 29 classmates. And the story of Deadman Wonderland is following him through his escapades, I suppose I should say, through this privatized prison, the first privatized prison in Japan that was built on the ruins of Tokyo. And while he's in this privatized prison, which is basically an amusement park on the outside, I mean, you're driving up to it, you see a Ferris wheel, you see roller coasters. They even have this stuff called the dog races where they pit these prisoners against each other. So, really, it's a story of Ganta's trials of survival in this place. And if you're also not a fan of gore, like we mentioned last week in Attack on Titan, don't watch Deadman Wonderland because it's very bloody as well.
There is one thing you did miss out, a bit of a crucial information. When Iru mentions that he was accused of massacring his entire classroom, it is in the first 5 minutes when the man in red, or the red man as Ganta calls him, he comes into the room, murders everybody in his classroom except for Ganta, and then puts a red crystal inside of his chest, and then that spawns off this whole weird and wonderful story we've got going on. I say he goes to Deadman Wonderland, and then it's not so long into the series, it is only 12 episodes, but it's not so long into the series where you find out that he's what's called a Deadman. These are people who have the power to manipulate their own blood and turn them into weapons. And it's not just Ganta that's got it, it's like there's several other people, and depending on who that person is, they use their powers differently, or they've got different types of power, or different ways of manipulating their blood. And in the end, they're thrown together in a battle called Carnival Corpse, where they will pit two dead men against each other, and basically, unless you've got to kill or incapacitate your opponent to win these matches, and if you lose this match, the dead man goes to a roulette where it's like a roulette, and then they pull a spinner on like a giant slot machine, and then whatever pops up on that machine would be removed from their body. So like an eye, half a stomach, a kidney, your hair, teeth, ears, voice boxes. So yeah, that's the only missing detail.
It's all done for scientific research on what their powers are, because the whole show they don't know what the ability to control the blood is. So
that's a power called Branch of Sin.
Yeah, they named it the Branch of Sin. Also, this show leaves you plenty of room to pick a favorite character because, Jesus Christ, there are so many great characters.
So why don't we, as ever, go straight into the characters? Bleeark, you started it. Who did you like? Who did you hate?
Well, what I gotta get through right now is my waifu, Shiro. She's in the show. And I can't go into her backstory because spoilers, but her voice actor in both the Japanese and the dub, because I've watched the sub and the dub, is just phenomenal, great, perfect. I don't care what you say.
Heavenly,
waifu,
beautiful.
right? Yeah, this is probably the best fitting voice actor for her. But
I actually remember the first time I was going to watch this show, and I was speaking to you on Facebook, and you just messaged me and said, "Oh, wow, Shiro, just wow." And I just went, "Nah, I don't really get it. It's kind of creepy the way that she's designed." You just went, "Oh, don't worry, you haven't developed your pale girl fetish just yet."
Yeah, sorry, pale girl fetish. My fetishes. But if we're gonna get past the schematics of that, her being pale and great, I got another character that I like about the show, and his name is Crow.
Oh yeah,
and
my favorite.
I can't go into his backstory, but he's a total fucking badass. His branch of sin allows him to pull blades out of his arms. And mind you, all of this stuff is all blood related, so he has to cut open his arms with these fucking blade rings on his thumbs and just rips open his arms and fucking blades come out. And he just slices shit up, and he spends his time cutting things like flies in his cell. He's a total badass.
Yeah, I'd say probably Crow was probably my favorite character in this show, just because of how badass that he actually was. In terms of, like, a character with a decent backstory and whatever, I'd probably say Nagi will probably be another one of my favorite characters, otherwise known as Al. He was pretty good, but they really didn't do that guy justice.
I want to point out.
Go.
I want to point out something real quick, Archer. I don't want to interrupt you, but all the dead men in their blocks are named after birds.
So Gonta, the main guy, he's called Woodpecker. Crow, I forgot what his name was.
His name is Senji.
Oh yeah, it's Senji.
And then we got Nagi, who is called Al, and I never remember what that girl's name was.
Hummingbird?
No, not Hummingbird.
No one remembers it because she's kind of a cunt. Oh, she's not a bad character. I'm not saying that. It's just her personality. No, that's the.
Her bird name is called Gamefall.
Fucking.
I know who you're talking about.
No one cares.
The white-haired girl with the massive boobs.
Karako or something like that.
Yeah, it does sound kind of similar to that. Just jump straight back onto my points about...
I was right.
Oh, right.
Whatever. I like her character, too.
She's pretty cool. Yeah,
I like everyone in the show, except, Hummingbird.
God damn, it's a good job.
No. I didn't hate Hummingbird, I just hate how her personality shifts.
It's a good job that Cal isn't here right now, because he would have killed you for saying that.
And Cal we got a buddy named Cal, and he just absolutely dislikes Hummingbird. Because if you've ever played Soul Calibur, and you've ever seen Tira, that mood shift thing, that's what it is. It's not multiple personalities. It's just, she's a cunt.
She's a good actor.
But in a good way.
Actress.
Her character is great in the show, but her personality I dislike personally.
I just want to jump straight back onto my points about Nagi and his voice acting, because he lost a match at Carnival Cup. I don't know who against, but as his punishment, he had his voice box ripped out, and so he had to have a prosthetic voice box put in there, like, a robotic one, kind of sounds a bit like this. And in the dub, it's really, really obvious that he does have this. When I first watched it, I think the dub wasn't quite finished yet, so I watched episodes 8 through to 12 with the original Japanese audio, and he didn't have a voice box whatsoever in those episodes. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Really strange. They made the effort.
You could definitely tell in the dub, though, like when it was finished. I watched it on Toonami first, so I watched it broadcast. That's how into that shit I was. You could definitely tell his voice was robotic, because he sounded like one of the androids from Dragon Ball Z, like Android 19, except with a really low voice and not a high-pitched voice.
Another thing as well, Iru mentioned the gore. If you're one who doesn't like coarse language, and I can't imagine you will be, otherwise you wouldn't listen to this show, but this show is just so chock-a-block with horrible language all the way through, constant swearing, horrible references, sexual puns, that kind of stuff. So if you're not a fan of that, or you don't like over-the-top stuff like that, I would definitely recommend you stay the hell away from this one. Especially,
I don't think it's over the top. I think it fits it perfectly.
It does fit it perfectly.
Personal preferences, but...
It does fit it perfectly. I've got no problem with swearing whatsoever, but sometimes it was just a little bit too over the top for me. Like throwing in swear words where you really didn't need swear words, just for the sake of shock value, and I don't know, I just didn't get why they would do that. But then again, I suppose because it was Funimation who licensed this anime, but maybe they were aiming this more at a Western audience than they were an Eastern audience, so maybe that's why. Iru, what characters did you like? Who did I fucking hate? Right, Ganta Igarashi, the main character, voiced by Greg Ayers, and I can't stand that guy's voice. Ganta is just his voice acting. Himself as a character is quite a pathetic wimp, weakling kind of guy, and I don't mind that. That's fine by me, because his character develops as we go along. He stops becoming such a bitch. But his voice, oh my god, his voice, it grinds on my eardrums. I can't stand it. Why, Greg Ayers? Why? I hate you. There you go. I'm done.
I like his voice.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
I do. I like his voice. Like, I don't hate it for Ganta specifically, but, you know, I think it fits. I mean, I don't think it fits him perfectly, but it's, you know, not horrible.
Iru, who did you love? Who did you hate?
Let's see. Who did I like and who did I hate? Well, I mean, you're kind of right. It is kind of hard to pick a favorite character because there is so many to choose from, but I'd have to say, for a favorite character, I honestly have to say Mockingbird. And
yeah, Mockingbird's an interesting character.
Oh, wait, holy shit, Mockingbird. I want more backstory on him. Jesus Christ.
Back to what I was saying. I almost said Mockingjay because I had Hunger Games on the brain, but Mockingbird. Mockingbird is my favorite character. First off, I originally thought it was a she because of the voice actor and then just the mannerisms and the clothing that he's wearing. But it turns out, they point out it's definitely a male. But he's just this mysterious character. He comes out of nowhere and kind of introduces himself to Shiro in a strange way. Kind of affects the storyline in a strange way. But then you find out that despite him helping out in this strange way, he's still an antagonist, but you still don't know how he's going to be an antagonist. Because he's made the point that he wants to meet Woodpecker, aka Ganta, but they're trying to save that for a later point in the story, I believe.
Yeah, when I first read about that, I mean, I've been looking for rumours all over the place to see if we're actually going to get a season 2, because when I first watched it, I mean, I'm sure Bleeark could tell you, I was bitching about it just because I thought, why end it there? It needs a second series, or it should have been a 24 episode. We should have had much better closure than what we got. But with Mockingbird, when he's first introduced into the show, there was talk that maybe they shouldn't include his character because the original intention was to just have 12 episodes, but they decided against that decision and then put him in anyway. So when you first hear, I'm glad they made that decision. When you first hear about Mockingbird, it's the Scar Chain, the dead men in there who are trying to rebel and break out and make sure the whole world knows what's going on. But when they first mention Mockingbird, they're trying to get him involved in the plans. It's like, oh yeah, he likes to wreck shit up, and let's see if we can find him and get him involved, because he loves killing people, and he's mad and he's mental. But then, whenever anybody ever sees Mockingbird, I mean, especially Crow, they're all just in fear of him. They seem scared of him in some way, and they mention that he is or was by far and away the strongest of the dead men, and he would never lose a match. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where that's, especially the way the last episode ended. I'm really hoping that we do get a second season, and if I'm not mistaken, I did hear somewhere that they've continued to write the story for it in anticipation of a second season.
Yeah, I've had the manga opened up in a bookmark for the longest time to try and continue the story, but I have this aversion to manga for some reason. I can't sit down and read it. So I know the story's continued and I've been meaning to get into it, but as far as the anime adaptation, I don't know. Yeah, that's still pretty shaky.
The manga finishes the series, to my knowledge. What I've seen though so far is that it should be 2 seasons or a 24 episode season, but it's not. It's only 12, and that's the problem though, is because the show ends on a footnote with at least 4 things unanswered that really need to be. Specifically with Mockingbird, because they only show him once or twice, and they only show some of what he does. They don't even show what his power is completely. So he's still completely shadowed. We can
take a guess as to what his branch of sin actually was, though.
They hint at it. I mean, I don't want to go too into detail, but I mean, if you think about it in the first place, all of their bird names are very representative of their powers. So like Ganta's woodpecker, woodpeckers are very fast, methodical, or fast, accurate, I guess kind of machine gun type deal, and that's what Ganta's power is he has his Ganta gun. He can use his blood to shoot bullets. So from that, you can kind of guess what Mockingbird is. I mean, mocking is pretty telling in the first place.
Yep.
But they do kind of go into it a little bit in the show. They show some hints of Mockingbird doing something to Crow, and it's just, wait, how did this happen? Mockingbird was just saying he turned into the weakest. Now, what? So I thought it was an interesting play on his character, because now, after seeing that little taste of his power, you're curious as to what made him, quote, weaker than the rest of them, and like what happened, because they mentioned at one point Mockingbird's been disappeared for like 3 years. Just gone. In this prison somewhere, but they couldn't find him, or that nobody had any idea where he was.
Really strange.
Like, he himself said that he died for a while, but no one knows what he means by that, because obviously he's still alive.
Be interested to see where that's going to go in it as well. And I've got another thing as well that didn't get enough explanation, which again, another reason why I hope that we do get a second season, and that's Shiro, or whoever the fuck Shiro is, because...
No spoilers, but her whole story is confusing.
Yeah, it's really strange. She's got a really different attire from everybody else as well, and then I say she's got some kind of relationship with somebody else involved in Deadman Wonderland, and you wonder where did that come from, how did that come about, and then why all of a sudden, can't say it without spoilers. I think you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
And to avoid more spoilers on that subject, because it is really hard trying to get into Shiro without talking about any of her story and giving away spoilers. I'd like to say that one of my other favorite characters, and this is one of the other things that you were saying that they kind of left unanswered, was the Warden Machina. I mean, on the surface, like I was saying, you have this surface Deadman Wonderland that is a tourist attraction. It's this amusement park, like I was saying. And this Warden Machina is the one that oversees it. Well, she is a by-the-book, you-don't-fuck-with type of woman. So when she finds out that there's this hidden carnival corpse going on in her prison and she has no jurisdiction over it, she's now hell-bent on finding out who to hold responsible. Or, I'm sorry, she does know who to hold responsible, but she's looking for the proof to take him down. Mm-hmm. And that's this promoter Tamaki, who I hate and love because he's a goofy character, but I hate him because his room is filled with like a 5-year-old's toy bin.
Yeah.
It's disgustingly hilarious. And that little dancing flower just makes me laugh every time.
The little dancing flower almost kills the seriousness of half his conversations.
Yeah. But he's one of those really bad guy villains. Really bad guy villains, yes, he's one of them. But he's so overconfident about his own ability and his own control over what's going on in Deadman Wonderland, and he thinks he's invincible. And that totally works for an antagonist for me. That's the kind of stuff that makes me hate the guy instantly, so done a very, very good job there. What were the other things that weren't explained for you, Bleeark?
Well, where the story goes. I mean, I'm not even going to spoil the end, because I don't want to be a dick here, but, like, that ending is like a bigger cliffhanger than Halo 2. And no, you know what? That's kind of even because, okay, that's going to go on to another subject, but like that's a cliffhanger right there. That your fingers are holding a branch on a cliff and you're like, come on, dude. And season 2 of Deadman Wonderland is just standing up there and he wants to put his hand out, but it's not out yet. That's what that is.
Hopefully we will be getting that soon. The soundtrack for this as well, pretty good. Fairly good
absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. I'm not too big on OP songs, but this it was a DWB Deadman Wonder Band featuring Fade. The song is called One Reason, I believe. Absolutely fantastic song. It's
best
one
OP I've ever heard.
One of the things that drew it to me first in the first place was the fact that it's English singer. It's an American singer, I would imagine. I don't know. He just sounds very...
No,
like
he speaks English, but he's Japanese.
Oh, really? Well, he's got an extremely good American accent then. Because I'm
just talking out my ass right now. I don't really know. I can only imagine that that's the case. Because I've heard of it before, but you don't see very many openings that are completely English.
Yeah, or if it is English, it's that Japanese heavily accented English. I mean, this is like you could take this and play it at a metal concert and it wouldn't seem out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would notice. And I take that seriously because this shit is so great that like, I'll blast it on my amp, and I'll try to play along with the bass lines.
Which you can't do, by the way.
Shut the fuck up, I'll learn it eventually.
Gotta learn Seven Nation Army first. That's an easy song for you.
I can play that. Off topic, bitch, I can play that shit.
No, and then you've got Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillaz, and you've got to learn that. That's really easy and catchy. Or you could
we're making a list. I've already got a list.
Or you could just do what I did. I bought a bass, and the first thing that I tried to learn was Orion by Metallica, and I got about halfway through it, and then the solo came.
I'll just go get Torso Fucks Raped by an Elephant. You ever heard that song? You think I'm joking?
Beautiful.
It's a real song. You're on YouTube right now. Why don't you go listen to it?
I'm looking this up right now on my phone.
You've never heard it before? Oh, you're in for a treat, my friend.
I'm gonna kill you if this isn't a real song.
No, it really is.
It's a real song.
The band is called So Fuck.
We're not trying to like advertise for these people, but Jesus Christ, that song's bad.
We're so fuck cannibal. What? Rage by Elephant. There it is.
Okay.
I thought you were
live reaction to what Ty thinks of this song. Put it on.
Look at me, Daddy. Look what I can do. What the fuck? Look at me, Daddy. Oh, you sick son of a bitch.
What the hell are we doing? I'm not even sure what this is right now. Okay. That's
Wait
enough
for
of, that's enough of Rage by Elephant.
Keep going. The music hasn't even started yet.
I hope this is getting edited out then.
No, it's not.
Here we go, music.
You can stop now.
Okay. Well.
That was Raped by Elephants by Torso Fuck. Go listen to it. Go and buy it on iTunes.
Buying music.
1992 plus 21. Alright, so back onto Deadman Wonderland. Does anybody have anything else to throw on that?
The ending of the show threw me off so hard that I almost felt like it kind of ruined the moment sometimes. Not in a bad way. It's not a bad song. It's just like, it's emotion killer, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, and it's funny because that song appears in the beginning of the show, too. And you're just sitting there listening to this song, and the lyrics just make your brain melt because it's just, you're trying to figure out, this can't be a real song, but it's being sung. That's really being said right now.
Wait, what song are you talking about? Because what the hell are you?
The Poison Bird ones?
I was going to say, I think Bleeark was talking about the ED, and you were talking about the lullaby.
Yeah, the ending song is called Shiny Shiny.
No, I was talking about the creepy Dead Bird song.
It's like, hold on. Yeah, well, the Dead Bird song, hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Shiny Shiny isn't a bad song. Don't get me wrong. If you like electronica or if you like that kind of music, it's not a bad song. But for, like, the end of episode 3, for instance, it's kind of like the episode was a cliffhanger and it was very violent and gory. But it's like a calming. If you've never seen the ending to Another, that's what it is.
Like holy shit, blood and guts everywhere, and then.
We should have hit this last week, last episode for Another. But the ending to Another was way too calm for what the show should have been.
Yeah, I don't think the OP fitted it very well either. For Another.
Well, that's debatable. It was okay, but it wasn't bad. We should have hit this last time, but.
Well, hindsight's 2020.
One last time, the opening for that show is great. You can go buy that song and listen to it on repeat, because I have it, and I can just listen to it when I go for runs, because I don't ever do that, but I can play my bed.
Oh, God, stop
When
it,
I say I go for runs, I mean I'm running to the bathroom, and I'm going to listen to it in there so I can shit faster.
Oh, so you've got the runs.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good joke. Fuck you.
They call it the quick green steps, I guess. The green mile.
and it's not just the music to the OP as well. The opening video package is pretty cool as well.
Oh my god, it's mind-blowingly good.
It is really pretty damn amazingly pretty good.
If you watch the uncensored version, there's that too. I've always got to throw in something uncensored, while the opening to that is censored for broadcasting purposes, so if you buy the Blu-ray version, you get the uncensored.
Joe, I checked online to see if there was a Blu-ray for that. The only thing I could find was a Region 1 locked DVD. So I would have had to have got it imported from America, but I wouldn't have got it in Blu-ray. It would have just been DVD.
I'm pretty sure there is no Blu-ray of it yet, because even when I go looking around at the electronic stores around here, I've seen Deadman Wonderland, and I've seen it dubbed and subbed, but not Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But, if you go on YouTube, you can actually look up all the Blu-ray shit, so I was only assuming that there was already a Blu-ray release.
When I get a Region 1 DVD, I'm definitely going to go out and buy it, though. Blu-ray player, sorry. I'm definitely going to go out and buy it. It's a fucking superb series.
Oh, yeah. This is a rewatchable show. I rewatched this show without a problem. I marathoned it in 3 days.
That's not really marathoning, though, is it?
Okay.
I'll try that again. That's not really marathoning it.
You shut your whore mouth. It's 4 episodes a night, bro.
I
have nothing to do.
That's a little bit more than an hour. That's what? Hour and 20 minutes.
No.
Come on. No, that's not marathoning. No.
26 minutes per episode, and that's only if you count there's no commercial breaks.
You watch anime with commercials in them?
Did you guys not watch this when it was broadcast on television?
No,
I
you only told
torrented it first.
after.
Oh, man. You're dumb.
Yeah, I got to watch it all the way through all at once. Waiting.
Waiting.
That is
I
the
can't
best
say it
part
because
is the
I'm waiting on
commercials.
Attack on Titan.
That is one thing, though. We did mention earlier on that, Iru mentioned earlier on that there is a lot of violence, a lot of blood, a lot of guts, and some other horrific stuff, but most of it is censored. You don't really get to see all that much. Don't get me wrong, you do get to see boobies in this, they're not uncensored. Everything else pretty much is. Like, if you're afraid of blood and guts and violence and blah, 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 then most of it is censored, so maybe you might want to go and check it out. Maybe that might help. Probably not. I mean, Bleeark, is it definitely uncensored if I was to go out and buy the DVD or Blu-ray?
Actually, I've done research, and I know there is a Blu-ray release, I'm not sure, but what I've seen is that there is a Blu-ray somewhere, if it's reach and locked in Japan or if it's in America or whatnot. The differences aren't very subtle. Like, there's partial nudity in the uncensored version, but all the gore and shit, that's still all censored, like, regardless of whether it's Blu-ray or not. Because even watching the uncensored version, sure, there's the occasional tit shot on accident, but when you see someone's arm being blown off, that arm is censored out.
Don't remind me of that, man. And that is fucking cringe.
Yeah, that
every
specific
time I
scene,
watch it.
During that scene, lots of
wasn't
things
censored
are
enough.
being fall off. Lots of body parts fall off, and they're all still, like, censored out. I mean, it's not horrible censoring. It's, like, black over the arms and shit, so it looks kind of natural, like it's really shaded in, instead of just, like, a bunch of pixelated squares kind of censoring. But I think it would look cooler if, like, someone's bone was sticking out and just blood was dripping down. I watched Attack on Titan.
So yeah, shall we do the 3 R's for this?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Bleeark,
please.
would you like to start us off?
No, because I hate you, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love you. Mixed feelings. I'm confused, I'm torn, I might as well fight myself. I think I could kick my own ass. You guys think would win, me or me? Yeah? Okay, 3 R's for the show. I'm gonna review it. Show's great. Now I'm gonna rate it. 10 out of 10.
Whoa. Fucking
No,
dish
okay.
out the 10 out of 10s like it's nothing.
I gotta be a little more serious. I can't exaggerate the show. There's a lot of flaws with the show, but the show itself is so good that it overlooks the flaws. The premise and the plot, all original, all good. It's great shit, man. It's got a lot to it. The voice acting hits two different... For the dub and the sub, there's actually 2 different opinions on that. You go down the sub, and you'll get one reaction from someone, but if you go down the dub, you'll get another reaction, just because of how people interpret how people say things. There's a scene where fucking one guy's looking at Shiro and just says, "Why don't you just die already?" in a jokingly manner. And then in the Japanese version, he says it, and it sounds like he's completely serious, so obviously someone's going to interpret differently. So if you want to watch it subbed, you're going to get a different reaction than you would have if you watched it dubbed, depending on how well you understand subtitles. So, just there's that. And if I was going to rate it on a serious note, because of how good it is, it overlooks its flaws, I'd probably give it a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. And yes, I'm going to rewatch this at one point or another. Soon, I might add. Probably within the next year.
Alright, I'll go next then. Pretty much just have to echo exactly what Bleeark said. I mean, if I was going to recommend whether you'd watch dub or sub, I'd probably recommend you watch the dub. Great soundtrack, great animation quality, the characters are really interesting. Voice acting I'm not a huge fan of in the dub, or the sub for that matter, but I don't know, it's okay, it's bearable. Fuck you, Greg Ayers, and I'll get onto that later. But...
Shiro's voice is beautiful in both. I don't care who you...
Of course.
I will find you, and I will make you listen to her voice in both the sub and dub.
I'd like to point out real quick that if you're a fan of Mayushi from Steins Gate, you should be a fan of Shiro, because they're the same voice actor in the sub.
But they're pretty different.
No, well, there's...
Wait, you mean the sub? Because I said dub. They're the same voice actor in dub.
Oh, I haven't watched the dub. Carry on.
Back's broken.
As a series, I mean, there are a couple of flaws, but as Bleeark said, it's a pretty damn good show. It's stellar, so you overlook those flaws, you enjoy it for what it is. It's unfinished, though. Definitely unfinished, and if it doesn't get a second series, I'll be really unhappy about it. I would give it a 6.57 out of 10. I'm probably going to rewatch it sometime in the future. I can imagine that's a great show to show other people, to try and get them into anime, as crazy as that might sound. It's like, oh, you think anime's childish? Well, watch this. But yeah, I would, and I would also recommend it. I would recommend it to anybody who is not afraid of harsh language, all blood and guts or gore. Iru,
Yeah.
what would you recommend?
Oh, yeah,
it
it's my
rate?
turn. Wait a second. That's right. Oh, sorry,
Dead,
guys.
bro?
3 hours. No, I was petting my cat. Code. Anyways, Anyways, so 3 hours. Being that I generally like eye candy shows, or just in general, I mean, in terms of action, not so much tits and ass, because there really wasn't.
Liar.
Well, no, I do like shows for that, but I'm saying this one particularly didn't go too overboard on the fan service. There were bits of it here and there with Machina and Shiro, and I think even Hummingbird a little bit. But
Yeah, Hummingbird in the uncensored version.
But really, the show focuses more on the action sequences and the fighting action, which I really enjoyed. So I'd have to rate it based on its action alone, a good 6 to 7 out of 10. Well, no, let me change it. 7 to 8 out of 10. But because it is unfinished, and because the OVA that comes in at the end doesn't really ease your concerns about anything else that's going to happen with the show, I'd have to drop it down to about a 6 or a 7, just because there needs to be more before it gets rated any higher. I'm definitely going to rewatch.
Over raises more questions.
Yeah.
I
really
still
does.
haven't watched it. I'll probably go watch the OVA tonight, actually. I might as well.
Yeah, it's worth watching. It's a nice little addition. But rewatching, I'm going to rewatch it again at some point, just because it is a neat show. I love the premise. I love how each person has their unique powers and they use them differently. I like the setting of it. It's very, as Ego would put it, grimdark, edgy. Anyways, I'd recommend it. Absolutely. I mean, not so much for the foul language, because I don't think I know too many people anymore that are offended by foul language. But when it comes to
they're out there. They're out there.
Oh, I'm sure they are, but I just don't know any of them. I don't go to church that often. So I'd like to say I would recommend it. It's definitely worth a watch, especially for those people who would enjoy seeing it more as just a visual eye feast, eye candy, what have you. More so than...
Yeah, the opening is eye candy altogether. That opening is just red over white over black, and that's it.
And there's a lot of fan service and some man service in there as well, so... I'd also like...
It gets kind of overboard sometimes, but it's not too horrible. It's not High School of the Dead.
No, I was just talking about the OP.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and I was like the show in general. Your mom.
So that wraps it up. Finally, there we go. So that about wraps it up for Deadman Wonderland. That's what we think of that. And I know Mr. Bleeark over here has been watching quite a lot of stuff in the past week, so would you like to enlighten us?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I'd enjoy it. So,
lovely.
Like I told you last week, I had a lot of things to watch just because I had missed out. But I didn't watch everything I wanted to watch, but I ended up watching a lot of shows that I personally enjoyed, shows that I wanted to watch.
Zero.
I will watch Fate Zero when the time comes. And when the time comes, so will I. So, you have to worry about that. But I've been watching, first off, I was recommended to watch A Certain Magical Index. And I was not recommended wrong, because that show is one of my favorite shows currently. I got to episode 15 in like 2 days. So that should show you how much I like the show. And Accelerator is one of my favorite characters about that show. I can't really go into it because I haven't really watched the show, but it's pretty much like a bunch of superhumans in the scientific parallel world that shoot fucking a lightning out of their brains or some shit. I know that's the worst exaggeration.
Dave tried to review Shakugan no Shana on like a day's worth of episodes, so I think you could do better with that.
All right.
I did try. I tried to do it after I watched like 20 episodes and I still couldn't do it. And you know what? I'm going to talk about it today and I'm still not going to be able to do it.
Alright, I'll try my best, but please don't leave me hate messages because I'm bad at it, but...
Nobody leaves us messages.
I hate you, and I hate Iru, but I love you guys, so here we go. This show's basically about the human advancement has advanced to the point that people are born with these supernatural powers.
Don't fuck up.
Don't fuck up, dicks. But these people are born with their supernatural powers, and based on, like, who they are or whatever, they got a different power. And they're scaled from levels 0 through 5. Level 0s generally either don't have a power, or their power is so unknown or unpowerful
Don't fuck up.
that it's a level 0. I swear to God, I thought I heard the Amber Alert. What the hell is wrong with you guys? But
That may have been from that.
oh God, it's Archer.
No.
I heard
No.
The show's ogre. Its playtime is ogre. The show starts out with a level 0 who's the main character, Toma, right? And his power is his right hand. And his power is basically he can masturbate so hard that it blows things up.
It's like you're reading my mind.
Joking aside, his power is that he can dispel other espers. That's what they're called, the people with the powers. He can dispel the powers of other espers just by touching them with his right hand. And then the show...
Experts or experts?
Espers.
Ah,
E-S-P-E-R-S.
espers, right.
According to the
Okay.
wiki, that's not an official translation, but I don't care. That's what they call them in the sub that I'm watching, Funimation. They're really bad at subbing, by the way. Don't ever watch Funimation subs. At least don't watch Index's subs for Funimation. I can't say the other ones are bad, but anyway. So the show follows him in the first episode, and a level 5 shows up so they can introduce her character. She becomes important later. She's a level 5 because she controls electricity. And her power is so drastically powerful that she can shoot lightning and shit. And her nickname is Railgun because she can fucking supercharge change and nickels and shit and fire them at fucking railgun levels 3 times the speed of sound.
It's an expensive hobby.
And,
It's an expensive hobby or power to have, I suppose.
Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't shoot away my money.
I don't know, they just show a
Or
quick
enough
battle
ideas.
about how she, like, throws a lightning bolt at him, and the fucking animation in this show, it's JC staff, so you know it's good. You know you're gonna lose weight one chop at a time, right here on Slap Chop. So, shoot I have to take a second to think in, but the animation of the show is great. It's very fluent, and it's eye candy, like Iru would say. So when she throws the lightning bolt, it looks cool as fuck. And all he has to do is put up his right arm, and fucking it dispels itself. And then all you see after that is her getting pissed, and she drops down a lightning bolt from the sky, and then it phases to the next scene. That's the intro to the show. That's
they both
cool as
seem
ass.
like OP as fuck, those guys.
They need to nerf her. She needs to be nerfed.
No.
But without going into the spoilers of some of the side stories and whatnot, they meet up another character where I'm currently at named Accelerator. And Accelerator's power... Hold on. Accelerator's power is a mathematical phenomenon. I was so dumbfounded by what his power was, I went to the internet, and I was redirected to, what was it called? Euclidean's momentum theory or something like that? I don't know what that is.
So it's
I'm
a
not
show
a
that
fan.
comes with homework.
This show comes with homework. You have to have at least a basic understanding of physics and mathematics, because,
Oh, fuck.
it's
They
Euclidean's
lost on, lost
my
on
bad.
me.
I've lost you, I guess, but it's a very scientific show, hence the name. Oh wait, that's Railgun. That's got a sister series called A Certain Scientific Railgun. I'm gonna watch that because I know Bitty Bitty's in it and she's fucking great, and Tommy would be mad if he found out that I'm hitting on his waifu, but it's pretty much what he can do. He controls the theories of Euclidean's vectors is that force, momentum, push, objects, some shit. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm still confused, but basically whatever he touch, he can exert force through. So he can stomp his foot down and drop 1 billion pounds of force back upwards. Or he can fucking grab railroads off the fucking ground and pick them up and shoot them at someone. Because he's moving them with some sort of force exertion power. And he can move really fast, and that's the reason his name is Accelerator. And that's pretty much where I've stopped at currently. I'm not going to tell you about what happens, but Toma does end up getting in a fight with him, and he gets his shit wrecked, like I do when I'm battling Archer on Pokemon Showdown. So,
Yeah,
that's...
hit me up on PSD, people, archerskye.
Fuck you guys. Don't ever battle him. He cheats. Nothing but rain teams all day. All rain all day.
I haven't used the rain team in years.
I don't like you. If I'm going to rate the show based on what I've seen, easily a 7 to 8 out of 10. I want to see how it ends. It's 50 episodes for season 1 and 2, Index 1 and Index 2. And then I'm going to go watch Railgun without a question because that's the side series. It's supposed to be, from what I've heard, the same show from another viewpoint or something, from Railgun's perspective. But I'm not sure what it is 100%, but I'm going to watch that. That's one show I've been watching. Another show, Attack on Titan. I finally got to watching episode 1, and I was so dumbfounded by what I had watched that I went to go message Archer and Iru on Facebook about, me watching it, and I couldn't figure out how to type because my mind was so blown. And I'm not even exaggerating. I didn't know what to do. I was typing, and I'm like, where's the send button? Where's enter on my keyboard? And I was just like, holy shit. It was great. It was great.
I actually got round to watching episode 2 of Attack on Titan this week. Gotta say, I was kind of put off by it. Not from the series, obviously. I'm gonna watch episodes 3, 4, and 5 tonight. Oh, sorry, tomorrow. I've got stuff to do tomorrow, but I watched episode 2, and it was kind of a turn-off. There wasn't a hell of a lot going on. The momentum from the first episode really didn't carry on over. I was kind of disappointed by it.
It's a grabber for the story, because I'm going to say this now, once you get to 3, and 3 is kind of like a story-based thingy, but at the end of 3, most of 4, and then all of 5 is action.
Yeah, that 2 definitely drops off, I'll agree. But then once you pick up on 3, you start seeing how they actually wanted to develop the story through the episode in 2. Because that's all 2 really is just plotline, or laying the foundation for the plot.
I honestly thought, am I just not enjoying this because I've not been as much into anime as of late? But thankfully somebody agrees with me, it's not just me. So Bleeark, what else have you...
Oremo Season 2. Now, I know you guys think I'm gay for watching a show called There's No Way My Little Sister Can Be This Cute.
We think you're gay.
Or maybe you think I'm kind of creepy. But
both.
The show was like the top show in the spring of 2011 when it came out, the original Season 1. And I thought, it's a comedy. It's a comedy something. It's not an ecchi, I don't believe, but it's funny as shit. And it's got a lot of implication jokes, obviously, but god damn. The comedy in it is great. Like when fucking the main character's girlfriend comes over and she finds his porn magazines and she looks at him and she's like, you like glasses? And she just happens to be wearing glasses and he's like, no. Then I don't even want to spoil it at that point because that would spoil the part of the show, but I got to Season 2. Season 2 was finally released in spring of this year, and I think they're on episode 5 as of last Saturday. It comes out every Saturday. I don't know where they're going with it. It seems a lot more story-based. I know another animation company took over for it, but all the story writers are still the same people. It still looks the same, so there's no problem with that, but it's leaning more towards story-based than it is what it used to be with comedy, but I'm still kind of enjoying it. I might recommend it if it gets finished to the right crowd, but it's not the original, like, attention-grabbing comedy style of anime that it was in the first season. Not in a bad way, though. You just have to get through the idea of it being more story than comedy like it was last time. Or last season, so.
Can I add something onto that about Oremo?
No, because I hate you, and your opinion is shit.
Please.
No, go ahead.
Okay, go on.
All I'm going to say about Oremo is, I would Akira now. That's all.
No, you wouldn't. She's doing some dare for you. Kuroneko is best girl. She cosplays as a cat, and she's kawaii as fuck. I heard you could do it. He just straight hurt me.
I did. I really...
it was an attempt, at least.
So,
Dave Archer, Pokemon Master, sexual god, Scouser, law-abiding citizen, general good guy.
That picture was made by Stu from Wrestling Rants about a year ago because WFG from 4chan's VP were having a tournament and I got involved in it. And I decided because Stu wasn't participating, I asked Stu to be my manager. So he made that picture and then he had my theme song as Davidian by Machine Head.
I'm gonna have to see this. Why was I not aware of it? I was there for it.
Actually created a video on YouTube that was just a couple of Damien Sandow pictures, and then there's a picture of John Laurinaitis with the thumbs up and a big cheesy smile, and it says exactly what Iru's just said there. In fact, I'll pop it into the video if I've still got it.
Yeah, well, I just saw it in the Facebook chat. That's why I read it. I was like, oh, this perfectly doesn't describe him.
But back on topic,
yeah.
I'm still saying go watch Attack on Titan. For now, that's going to remain a 9 out of 10 because it's unfinished and the story's still kind of confusing as shit. But it's got a lot of gore in the story in it. The story in it, I've been very wrong in myself for wanting to spoil it. And I've seen a couple things, and I've been trying to beat the shit out of myself every time I tempt myself to see a spoiler. So I'm just glazing past these spoilers, and I'm beating the fuck out of myself, because now I'm even more confused. Aside from that, the show itself, 9 out of 10. Oremo Season 2, 6 out of 10, unfortunately. Because I still like the show, but I'm not going to recommend it just quite yet. So I'm done with my little rant there. My little wrestling rant.
My little wrestling. Do you want to go? Oh, wow! I still can't do
Before
it
you
properly.
get sued by Disturbed.
What do you mean we will get sued by
No,
Disturbed?
you will, because mine are original sounds, and I'm, great.
But I
meant
did
me-
give them credit, so there shouldn't be any fault.
Yeah, go buy
Drop-
Disturbed on iTunes.
Yes, go
and
buy
do that.
all of Disturbed albums.
Wait, you guys don't already have their albums? Because I've got Indestructible and Asylum. Like, I can see them from where I'm at.
Not having the sickness.
Dude, The Sickness was great. 10,000 Fists was great. What are you talking? They're all great.
Yeah, then what? Make it sound like any of the newer albums. Anyways, so I have been watching. Not
Wait,
that-
Ty. Iru.
I know
What you
nobody
been
cares.
watching, man? What you been watching?
Oh,
Tell me.
well,
you watching right now?
out in between the periods of like dozing off, staring at the cars drive by, I've been kind of trying to watch this show called Sora no Woto, and
I heard bad things about that show.
I
haven't heard anything.
I
Ah.
You can't see my face right now, but if you could, you'd be laughing.
the master troll face. Anyways, so this show Sora no Woto, I believe it translates as Sound of the Sky, basically. But I'm not sure how this show is going to turn out. Like Archer said, he hasn't heard very good things about it, and I kind of can see where he's getting that from, because right now, I've only made it to about episode 6, and I'm still not sure how this story is going to turn out, because on the one hand, you're starting off with this very basic storyline of this girl wanting to be transferred to whatever military unit so she can learn how to play the trumpet / horn, whatever, so she can be part of the military unit. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like,
So
I'm
it's
watching,
basically like the anime version of Jarhead, right?
kinda, yeah, plus some K-On! In there for good measure. Well, I don't say that because of the music, and really, their troupe is really more
So
like...
not K.
no, their troupe really is like an afternoon school tea club. Anyways, which was... I don't even remember. I'm confusing my shows now, I bet. Anyways, so the second storyline of Sora no Woto opens up with this beautiful, fantastical concept of these horns that wound up fighting away this great fire demon that originally threatened this village. And they worked it in such a way, this girl got lost, and she winds up going to this festival to celebrate the flame maidens that cast the demon back into there, sealed the demon, whatever. And she has no idea what's going on, and whoever's watching has no idea what's going on, because she just gets lost. She starts learning about all this flame maiden stuff, and then she winds up chasing after a bell that an owl stole. And I have no idea where the story is going, because there's 3 different directions it's going, and because then they also have this tank that's sitting in pieces in their garage. And they're supposed to be defending this town against some enemy, but they have a useless tank and there's 5 of them. So I don't know how much protecting they're really going to be doing.
That sounds like crap. Why are you watching it?
I did say I haven't finished it yet, so... You could say that to me when I finished it.
So.
You're like, why did you put yourself through that? Watching cars sounds like it would have been much more interesting at that point. Maybe even watching paint dry. Just saying.
That's what I felt like
Watching
after
your
watching
grass
Baccano.
grow? Watching Baccano?
No, watching grass grow, man. Well, hey, whoa, hey. Depends on the kind of grass we're talking about, okay?
Hmm.
But,
Those are
well,
weeds. You're dumb.
what?
Joke's on you.
Anyway, so I've been watching Sora no Woto. It's, yeah.
4 out of 10 wouldn't watch again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to rate it very highly right now. I'd have to say a good 3-4 out of 10. It
Holy
just
shit,
it
I was
hasn't
right.
caught me yet. I've tried to watch an episode or 2 here at work while I'm on my lunch break, and it's just there's just nothing to catch me. It hasn't picked up yet. I really want this fantasy storyline to pick up, but until it does, this show will remain a solid 3-4 out of 10.
Well, at least it's a solid 3-4 out of 10.
Yeah, better than a weak 3-4.
You're pretty solid yourself, Archer.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm actually pretty solid right now.
He was talking to Pants Porpoise, by the way.
What?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Been watching anything else?
Your mom.
She has driven by a couple times. I've noticed the car go by a couple times, but we'll not talk about my people watching habits.
Get wrecked.
Anyway, so what else have I been watching? What did I start just recently?
A bunch of shit, I bet.
Oh, I had just started watching Gunslinger Girl again. That's what I had just started watching today, and
Now that I've heard good things about.
yeah, I'm definitely going to highly recommend it, but after watching the first episode again, maybe it's because the first episode's kind of slow, and, I mean, the whole story is definitely very, very, very plot-driven. There's minimal fan service, if any. It's 100% feels. The feels kind of come close to Angel Beats feels, but in a different way. It's not so much life and death feels, it's more father-daughter feels. So, I mean, it's a very good show, but it's a lot to take in. And
I've never heard anybody do that before. You just built it up so high and then knocked it down in literally 2 seconds. No, I
Well,
don't want
right
to watch
here,
it.
everything you watch is shit. Don't
Yeah.
unexpect
Yeah.
that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a fantastic show the first time I watched it. It had me glued when I watched it. It was a great story. I like how they explored the relationship between what they call the Fratellos, this handler, and his child, basically, that he was taking care of. But these children are all assassins. And I don't want to get too much into it because it's stuff you'll pick up watching the show. But I don't even know if I'm going to rewatch it. It's one of those shows that you can only watch once through, and it's great that first time, but it just drags the second time. Now, like I said, maybe it'll pick up later on, but I would definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it once through already.
And marks out of 10?
With that show, the animation isn't top notch, so you shouldn't be really expecting too much from that. The music is all very soft from what I remember and very ambient to the show. And I will say the characters are very memorable. Each pair of Fratello definitely has their ups and downs, and they definitely distinguish them from each other. So I'd have to say I'd rate that at 5.5 out of 10. It's worth a once through for sure.
Are we talking about the show with Miku?
No, not Sensei.
Sorry, dude. I wasn't keeping up on that part. I started spacing out.
No, we were talking about Gunslinger Girl.
Oh, yeah! I have seen that.
So this whole time,
God.
Bleeark could have input, and he's over here worrying about what's for dinner.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm a very busy woman.
Okay, then. Well, I haven't really had time this week I have had time, but I've spent it drinking most of the time. It's been a terrible week. But I've not had the chance to watch that
It's
much,
been a terrible week, but I've been getting drunk, whatever.
so
Guys, I feel like shit, so I'm gonna go drink more to feel more like...
and then
That's
I
how
vomited.
that went. That's what it sounded like, too.
That's what it sounds like on
Wow.
Friday nights after I get done drinking. Yeah.
I like how you guys vomit, you fucking lightweights.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier on, I
Underman,
watched...
so I don't even want to hear it.
Shut up, you.
Not you.
So I watched, obviously, episode 2 of Attack on Titan. That's looking still good up to now. Say drops off episode 2. I've still got 3 more episodes to catch up on. I'm going to do that probably some point tomorrow or the day after. I would rate it 6 out of 10. It's looking good. The soundtrack's great. The animation style's a little bit weird. The art style to it's a little bit weird, but that's something I'm getting used to. I don't hate it. It's just something a little bit different. I am definitely going to carry on watching it, and I would definitely recommend that you go and check out episode 1 for yourself. Here's the situation that I've had this week. I go to Tai, and I say, Iru, I say, give me a 12 episode of anime. It needs to be epic, or at least great. Something that holds my attention with minimal fan service and moe. What should I watch? And then, I'm having difficulty trying to pronounce this, but Senkei Zesu Symphogia?
That's about what I'd say.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So I went off and watched this. Something that was supposed to be eye-catching. Something that was supposed to have minimal fan service. Minimal moe.
Recommendations from Iru, gentlemen.
Iru, you fucking
Minimal
lied to me.
fan service.
Minimal fan.
Mr. Roosman.
Oh god, so I watched 2 episodes of this, and you know what? I'm going to carry on watching it. It is one of the strangest concepts for a show I have ever come across. Okay, so it starts off with this girl crying in the rain about something. I wasn't completely sure on that. But we skip, and it goes back 2 years back in the past, Now, this girl is waiting in line to see a concert, and she rings her friend. She's just like, I'm in the line already, where are you? And she's like, oh, I'm not coming, my auntie's gonna die. So then she goes in to this stadium, and she ends up watching this concert. And you know what? I was blown away by the animation quality of this. Like, even the dance moves and the way the two girls who were singing on stage were moving about looked great. Then the stadium gets attacked by, have you ever seen Flubber before?
Well,
With Robin
now we know there
Williams.
was a bunch of men in the audience.
Okay. So then
Pardon me.
So several flubbers start attacking the place, and then the singer just goes, right, we're the only ones who can stop this. And I'm like, really? What are you going to do? Sing them to sleep? I don't know. Then they have this extremely fan-savvy transformation process where they get armor from out of the arse or something like that, and they've got massive swords, and then they go around and they start killing all of these flubbers. The girl, Hibiki, I think her name is, I assume that she's the main character, because she's the only one who's got a lot of focus up to now. But she nearly dies, and then she gets saved by one of them, and then spoilers, I can't go into that. But then, the next episode, I think we skipped further in time a little bit, and she's joined this musical academy. And this is when we learn that the only way that you can activate and use your powers is to start singing. So as you're battling along, you're singing along with this really happy J-pop tune, techno music, and you're fighting off these giant aliens called Noise. And then there was this one part with the girl. She starts singing. She gets surrounded, her and this little girl get surrounded by a load of these alien monster kind of things. And then she's like, there's only one thing I can do in this situation. And she starts singing. And then guns come out of her arse. And she starts going through this weird transformation process. And then she transforms, and then she somehow manages to run away from these noise people, the things, aliens. And then another girl who can transform into this, who can use this transformation power while she's singing, comes along and kills them all. And why did she transform? I don't get it. I mean, I really hope that gets explained later on, and it's not just going to be, oh yeah, when you were born we inserted several anti-tank rocket launchers into your arse, and the only way to be activated was when you sing Raped by Elephants in Japanese. So...
Holy shit. I'm gonna watch this show already.
Do you know what though? It looks brilliant. It really, really does look great. I mean, when I said...
Company?
Iru, we'll leave that one to you.
For what?
Who's the animated...
For what?
Keep going. I'll look it up right now. I don't even know off the top of my head.
Oh, sorry. Iru was busy looking up what's for dinner.
Yeah.
Fucking kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat the spoons. But yeah, I'd say it's kind of weird and off-putting, and I asked for minimal fan service and I get 50% fan service. I mean, come on, you could have done better than
50%, he
that.
says. You're very,
In my
very
defense-
modest for that.
In my defense, I did want to give him just a short series, so I was just looking through what I already had watched, and I was just like, okay, I remember this being like 12, 13 episodes. I'll recommend this. Let's see.
He didn't do a proper job, you fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'd say J-pop is probably my guilty. If I ever were to have a guilty pleasure in music, it would be J-pop for sure. So I'm enjoying the music, but the whole fighting while singing at the same time is just weird to me. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't understand it. But I'd say it's the two episodes I watched as a whole are good. I would rate it 5.5 out of 10 up to now. I'd say I really do hope a lot of this bullshit mechanical anti-tank missile archery gets explained because it's really fucking doing my nothing. Would I recommend it? No, I wouldn't. This is not, again, this is another one of those shows you really don't want people to walk in on you watching. Because it's just,
I'd probably have them walk in the first place and just tell them about it. That way they can get the idea of what the hell I'm watching all day.
But then, in episode 2, up to now it's just been tits and arse shots, but like in episode 2, the girl starts thinking about what happened in episode 1 when Concert got attacked by the noise. And then, like, a faraway camera view, she opens up a top, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is she doing? Then the camera goes directly above her head, and you can see her tits and splendid glory and this little scar that she's got. And I'm like, you couldn't have shown that any other way. No, you just had to get the tits and the frilly bra that she's wearing in there, didn't you? You perverted
You know
bastards.
you did.
It was just weird and that. I'm gonna carry on watching it. I've made my mind up. I'm probably gonna carry on watching it tomorrow. Yeah, just because of that. It's not like I'm interested in the technology or bullshit singing methods.
That's what you sound like.
Real quick, this Symphogear was made by Encourage Films with production assistance from Satellite, it says. And for anybody that's interested by Dave's lovely review, there is a second season, Senki Sessho Symphogear G, which will begin airing in July 2013. G. Don't forget the G on the end.
It took a second to.
I think I summed that show up quite nicely, and yeah, that was it. I'm going to carry on watching it, and I'm not going to recommend it until I finish watching it.
My notes
and then
on
you'll
the
say
show.
that you won't recommend it because you did watch it.
My notes on that show: Dat Hibiki. That's all I gotta say.
Oh god. And the last thing I watched episode 1 of season 2 of Shakugan no Shana. I'm not going to try and explain it again. Go to fucking Wikipedia. But I was drunk when I was watching it, and then I just got done talking to you guys. I'm saying, I need to find something that's going to reignite my passion for anime and, you know, really get back into watching it all the time. And this episode, I think, did it. Wow. Everybody got a voice acting change. In the first 2 minutes, I was really happy. It's like, Skye got a voice change. The annoying bitch who won't leave him alone got a voice acting change. The EK, I think his name was, the dude with the glasses, he got a voice change, and I was really happy with it. The character who I really, really wanted to die in the end of season 1 got a voice acting change. She is now much more bearable to put up with, and I hope she sticks with that throughout it. That's great. Then they changed Alistair's voice actor, and I was pissed. I was really, really annoyed with that. But it gets even worse. So we got one character. He was voiced by Brad Swale, or Swile, whatever. That's Light Yagami. And every time he spoke, all I could think of was Light Yagami. So I thought, oh, it's great. He's getting he got a voice acting change. I thought, that's great. That's fantastic. But then I realized who he got the voice acting change to. I've not looked it up yet, but I am fairly convinced that guy is being voiced by Greg Ayers now. It just went from being bad to horrendously much more worse. Oh my
I beg to differ. His voice is fairly unique, so if it's not him, I'm gonna have to throw my pillows at you in a very frilly fashion.
Being unique doesn't mean it's good.
I beg to differ. His roles might be very unique. It's not that I hate hearing his voice everywhere, it's just that it's everywhere. Mm. And I don't say that a lot because he just happens to voice a couple key in characters in some shows here and there. The joke there was because I said key because he's in at least 2 key shows.
Wait.
Get it? Wait. No one gets it but me. Shut the hell up.
Wait.
But to give you like a final score on Shakugan no Shana Season 1, I'm not going to try and describe it. I've done it in the past couple of episodes. I've done a terrible job. Just please go to Wikipedia. Season 1 gets a 7.5 out of 10. I might watch it again. And I would definitely recommend it. I think it's something, there's a little bit of something in there for everybody. Action scenes are great, soundtracks great, characters are, they're okay. Animation qualities, I've just said that. Good. Anyway, just go and watch it. And that about wraps it up for what I've been watching this week. Which isn't much. But I'll be sure to be watching more for the next episode. With all that being said, we have got one thing left to do. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fruits and vegetables, birds and the bees, transvestites and transgenders, mechs and aliens, Nate's Rates, everybody.
Hello, Archer, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Nate's Rates, everybody. The most boring part of the show. This week, I'll be reviewing a show that I watched maybe a year and a half ago, reviewed by...
Wait.
What?
The weakest part of the show, have you not listened when Ego talks?
Well, I mean, now that he's not here, the show's at least 97,000% better. Emphasis on 1,000. But... Please, when he listens to this, he's gonna get so pissed, and I'm gonna get my ass beat, so... Since we're already in the fucking hole, let me just be the edgiest guy on the character. I once fell off a bridge while falling into a pile of salt full of razor blades.
And lemon juice and
Edgy. Cactus. And then I ran into a cactus because there's fucking cacti. Who the fuck puts that there? I don't care. But anyway, right here on Nate's Race this week, I'm gonna review a show that I watched about a year and a half ago. It's a good show, recommended to me by my roommate here. And I know if I get anything wrong with it, he's just going to get up, shout, probably hit me with my bass, and kill me. So feel free to put an input if you feel me being wrong here. But Black Rock Shooter. I know his gut's turn, but listen. Black Rock Shooter, I immediately remember watching the OVA at his house. It's an hour-long OVA. It's an indie anime, and it was It was a pretty good show, and I'm pretty sure the main character is based off of Hatsune Miku. You should definitely look into her music because it's great. Go home if you don't like it. I don't know why you wouldn't be at home listening to this anyway, but Black Rock Shooter, it's basically the most confusing show you'll ever watch, and it's about 16 minutes of action and 54 minutes of story. And I mean that because I'm pretty sure at one point it was some subbing company got to it and like subbed only the action part, and it ended up only being 16 minutes long. But the show itself is supposed to be more of an explanation of what the OVA was or whatever. It's like, I don't even know. But it starts off in this parallel world that's completely CG. All of it's computer generated, even the main characters and shit. And there's these two characters. There's Black Rock Shooter, and I forget who the other one is. But they're beating Deathmaster. They're beating the shit out of each other. One's got a sword, the other's got a scythe, and it's a really cool action sequence. The graphics are stunning in it, and it looks very fluid because it's CG. And then after that little fight scene's over, it breaks into this schoolgirl and very calm situation about her. But as the show goes on, it shows it's pretty much whatever she does emotionally is directly attached to the side world because the Black Rock Shooter is supposed to be her, and her friend is supposed to be Deadmaster, and her other friend is supposed to be this other character, Anger or something. I don't fucking remember, but
spoilers. Strength,
yeah. No, each one of her character. No, I'm not. That's not much of a spoiler. It's just so much as it is an explanation. It's like all of her friends are supposed to be characters in that side world, and it's pretty obvious because they have the same faces, more or less, with minute differences. And, tall and have boobs for some reason. But
wear nothing but a bikini and hot pants.
Whatever emotionally happens to her affects the other world drastically and in a very different way. Like, when she gets in a fight or an argument with one of her friends, there's supposed to be, like, this epic battle going on inside this side world. And they'll cut to it every now and again in some of the episodes. And in one of the episodes, it's just nothing but that. On a level of uniqueness, this for an indie anime was a pretty good show. IMO. I know Archer begs to differ. His opinion on it is that it's bad. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not going to say it was great. I'm saying it's good for what it was. So, Black Rock Shooter for me. But I know I'm probably missing a lot of the description of the show, but I would definitely give it a 6 out of 10. I was thinking about rewatching it. I really was, because I did watch it about a year ago. The show itself and the OVA I watched a year and a half ago. And I'm surprised I didn't get anything wrong, because I'm not dead yet, so 6.5 out of 10. Would recommend to the edgiest of people because the show might be a little edgy for you if you don't like it, but yeah, I'd recommend it. And like I said, I might actually rewatch it here soon. Maybe this week, maybe this next week. So that's next race.
I do want to put a little bit of input in this. Episode 1, the first 3 minutes hooked me like no other anime has ever hooked me. We're in this weird and wonderful world, but the sky is just completely blue with clouds, and the CG movement was just fantastic. There was this amazing opening monologue from Black Rock Shooter and this amazing opening piece of music. I've downloaded the soundtrack, and it's oh god, it's brilliant. That soundtrack thank you. That soundtrack is just amazing. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's because, hold on, then we get to tell up. Most of the sounds and the soundtracks in that show are made by either a Miku-based program or they're actually made by an actual band, but whatever, they're not important because it's Miku. By the way, guys, if you can't tell, I like Miku. Shut the fuck up. Go just YouTube Miku and you'll get a trillion videos.
And then we have this fantastic action scene, and all the action scenes in this anime look brilliant, really good CGI work. And then, all of a sudden, we go to, I forget what's the name of the girl?
Oh, Yomiyama?
No, the girl with Black Rock Shooter's opposite in the other world, what's she called?
Oh, yeah, No. She's talking about the actual fucking, hey, what's Black Rock Shooter's girl's name?
Mato.
Because
Mato, that's it, yeah.
They make the joke, there's a joke where her friend says, arigato, mato. And then they just cut it off where it says ariga and tomato. So it says, thank you, tomato. And then it's got a picture of a tomato over her face, and it's just like whole scene ruined.
It's like the pies in another. But yeah, as soon as we cut to Mato and her friends in the real world, it's like, I couldn't give a flying fuck about your problems. They're really trivial. And I can imagine how an 11-year-old might see their problems and how dramatic it might be. And I think that's how the other world reflects it, if you understand where I'm coming from. Like, the way an 11-year-old thinks how big her little trivial problems are, in her mind, it's a huge battle scene, kind of like in the other world, if you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, probably if I want to give it the 3 hours, if you wouldn't mind, Nate.
Well, if you give me a second to point something out here, your opinion's wrong and you should feel bad. But, real quick, the show's only 8 episodes. So, and the OVA's an hour long. But yeah, you go ahead and I'm going to have Dave's raves for a second here, and I'll be more than glad to listen to it.
I would give it a 4.5 out of 10. Strangely enough though, I would recommend it because I think that CGI and the soundtrack is totally worth looking at. And I wouldn't just listen to the soundtrack without actually watching the show. And I definitely wouldn't rewatch it again. I just want to throw that out there.
I respect your opinion. Said
it's
nobody.
wrong, but it's my opinion. Okay, that about wraps it. So, go on.
I was just saying I like the show, that's all. I respect your opinion, but I like the show.
Cool. Well, you got 2 different perspectives on Black Rock Shoe today because Dave Reeves had to overcome Nate's rates. And, ladies and gentlemen...
Can I do it, Ty Spies?
Yes!
You've been thinking about that for the past 5 minutes, haven't you?
I really, that came out of nowhere, but I just wanted to have some. I just wanted to say something about Black Rock Shooter. This is another one of those shows that is very fantastically fun to watch. It's eyegasm. I can't describe it any other way. It's an eyegasm when they go into this alternate world. And then, yeah, there's that dull, boring real world shit. And the real world stuff makes sense to what happens in the alternate world, but it feels like it's way too much of an aside. I really wanted them to focus more on the action, and there really isn't very much explained. It's literally just, like, if you ever saw the movie Sucker Punch, it's nothing but action. There's, like, minimal story. It can be expanded on, but the way Black Rock Shooter was presented, it's just fighting, crazy fights, cool-looking characters, cool-looking scenes, all
That's
that.
another thing I will add to the show as well. I have got a shitload of really cool-looking wallpapers for my desktop from that show.
No, Black Rock Shooter is just a wallpaper haven. If you have seen that show in any way, shape, or form, I've got a couple Black Rock Shooter wallpapers just because they're great, and some of them are comedic, and I can't get into that because that's spoilers, but hey. Great. But hey.
Well, why don't you round up Tie Spies with the 3 R's then?
Given that it's another just eyegasm show, I'd rate that one a 7.5, only because everything is so fun to watch. I love the characters. Their fights are fun to watch. I mean, strength for best character, just saying. I'd recommend it for sure because, I mean, anybody that likes action just will get a kick out of it. It's very fun to watch. And it's been so long, I probably will rewatch it soon, actually.
We should watch it together.
Do a live stream of it.
Dude, fuck it. 420. Blaze it up. Yo, we'll watch that shit together.
I'm sure Ty will.
Shit, I need 420 as a reason. Wait,
Mark Heading.
Your mom.
On that bombshell, I think that about wraps us up for Anime Abroad. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to Anime Abroad with us this week. If you haven't already, don't forget, don't be a divvy, hit the subscribe button, of course. Don't forget to leave all of your sexual propositions, threats, and possibly suggestions in the comments section below. And if you liked it, do please leave us a like. If you didn't like it, leave us some feedback. What didn't you like? What did you like? What can we improve? Yada, yada, yada. And, yeah, this has been Archerskye signing out.
This is Iro saying, have a good night, everybody.
Bleeark says, I'll see you next week.